Der AM-Cast. Gespräche über Gottes Wirken heute und Mission weltweit. Herzlich willkommen, liebe Missionsbegeisterten da draußen. Ich begrüße euch zu einer weiteren Sonderfolge unseres Podcasts der Allianzmission, und zwar einem weiteren Ukraine-Spezial, in dem wir darüber reden, was wir aus der Ukraine mitbekommen, wie es Menschen in und um der Ukraine ergeht und wie Menschen helfen in den umliegenden Ländern und auch hier in unserem Land. Heute habe ich einen Gast aus der Ukraine bei mir, aber nicht in der Ukraine, und zwar ist das Ulyana. Ulyana, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be here and to be able to talk to you. And yes.
Ulyana, you are originally an English teacher, have been teaching English in the Ukraine. You had to leave your country and you came here to Ewersbach and already work as an assistant as English teacher here now. So that is a great possibility for us being able to communicate, because you don't talk German and I don't talk Ukrainian. Tell us a little bit about you.
Right. I am a Ukrainian. And before the war started, I had lived in Kiev region.
Mm-hmm.
So my husband is Romanian,
Mm-hmm.
but we lived in Ukraine and we were quite happy there. In theory, maybe we were thinking maybe one day we'll go somewhere more Western, but we had our life quite together there. But there was a feeling that things are changing, and it was a feeling that you wanted to brush away, because it was just so unheard of and so in like not possible. It was hard to believe that something like this can happen. But I guess the history has its cycles, and it was, I guess, just one of them. And I really love my country. And although there are many beautiful places and it's nice to visit them, but as for me and most of the people I know and most of people that are here, the best place for us is our country and our homeland, and that's how we feel. That it's not an opportunity that we have jumped on. We can be sometimes people say that they hear this, but. That they've been told something like that, but believe me, it's not the case. It's good to go abroad, but it's good to have your own place that you worked for a whole life and you built with your own hands. I guess everyone can understand that.
Yes, I'm really sure. Thank you for sharing that very personal insight. You arrived here. Perhaps we'll later a little bit about your the ways of the journeys you arrived here. You arrived here. You found, well, kind of a little bit of a spiritual home here in our church, in the Free Evangelic Church in Ewersbach. You're giving your skills for translating today for the Welcome Cafe for all the Ukrainians living here in Ewersbach. You also started working as English teacher assistant, as you told. Why do you do all this? Why do you invest yourself here in this way?
Well, I guess it's a rhetoric question.
Is it?
It's the same as if I would ask you, why do you do things you do? Yeah, it's your life. It's how God leads you. It's sometimes you don't. Sometimes you make you lift your foot and then you make another step, right? That's how we felt. And a while ago, I was with my friends from our church, in Higer with a group of Ukrainians from Rital, and the ladies there asked me, "Oh, what are you doing here? Why didn't you go to England or Ireland?" And I guess that was the first time I really thought about it. I was like, "Oh, really? Yeah, like interesting, yeah." And it's like God just leads you. It's amazing, and sometimes you analyze in retrospect, and I guess God has a plan for all of us, I believe, and for Ukrainians here too. And
perhaps you could share a little bit about what you experience. What are the biggest needs and biggest sorrows or fears of Ukrainian refugees arriving here, because you get in close conversation to people.
Okay, I'll share with you something that it hurts incredibly much to hear from people who listen to some really strange news, and some are hooked into really devilish propaganda here. Fortunately, you have this propaganda channeled here too, and then it comes out as pretty much accusing Ukrainians of bombing themselves and telling that it's really it still has to be really studied what's going on there, and other things. So it's like, believe me, you can't tell people who have seen things with their own eyes. Yesterday I talked to a lady from Kharkiv. It's one of the cities that been bombarded, and they were leaving. She's here in Higer. They were leaving when it was really bombing was going on. And she's Russian. She's Russian. She speaks Russian, and of course you have some kind of sympathy to your own. Like I can compare to, for example, children. Even if their parents left them somewhere, abandoned them in horrible conditions, they still, for example, look after them and try to find who they are. They still feel they love. Maybe it's the same. Some people feel the same feelings about Russia, or I don't know. But I ask her, like, do you have? Okay, just forget everything. Forget all your luggage, everything, all the propaganda that you heard about this Nazis, Western Ukrainians who are like, oh, come and will eat you alive with your children. Like, forget it all. For a moment, do you have, for a second, do you have any sort of doubts that it can actually be Ukrainian army that's bombarding you or something? And she looked like me, like I was insane. She said, no, like, what are you talking about? It's like, and then, the way the propaganda works, I understand why, because they use this like extremely harnessed techniques. That's very painful. When you see these insane things, and these things are.
And you see it turned around in news.
Yes.
In the fake news.
Yes, and it goes around, and people talk about it, and they, and not everything's so clear. It's like not white and black. Sometimes black is black and white, and you don't look for, conspiracy theories when there are no, when it's really very straightforward.
Okay, thank you. You had to leave Kiev, or the region of Kiev yourself, you say. How did you make your way here to Ewersbach? How did you encounter God's shielding or guiding your way here?
Okay, we left, we got up with the first bombing. We woke up. It's a weird sound. You cannot miss it. You cannot really.
It's like Like a little earthquake?
It's like you feel that something is exploding inside of you. You know, you can't. It's not fireworks. It's not firecrackers. No, it's very, very horrible sound, and you know beyond a doubt what it is. And so we left. It was 5 o'clock. We got up pretty much. 7 o'clock we left. We left everything. I grew up in the Western Ukraine. My grandmother was a survivor, like this Bucha and Irpin places. We had this in 1939 when Soviets came.
Yeah.
And it was exactly the same. It was massacre, raping, everything. You know, all that stuff was there in Western Ukraine. That's why Western Ukrainians, they really got this inoculation, and they resisted Soviet and Russian. Russian. That came
also
from
why
Russia.
you point out the circles of history.
Yeah. So we have this inoculation, and we still it's still in our blood. We feel it. Okay. We cannot do anything to, like, we can't do much to just make this horrible ideology and everything that comes with it disappear. What we can do, we ignore it. That's our way of not spreading it any further. I heard this quote, okay, maybe you can erase it, but that one of the, I don't know whether it's Putin or somebody else, that Russia spreads as far as the Russian language is spoken.
Okay.
Yeah. And Western Ukraine, pretty much that's our stand. We are not spreading it any further. We don't understand. We don't. All what we can do, we ignore you.
Okay.
Yeah. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And okay, so I knew on this very morning we got up. I was thinking, I have a 15-year-old daughter, so I was thinking that we dressed up. Something warm. It was cold, as warm as possible. We took some gadgets, some cash. My daughter took. We don't have weapons. Legal weapons. Some people do in Ukraine a lot. We didn't. So my daughter took like this big stationery scissors, and I thought, okay, if maybe I'll have to cut her hair or make her look really scary, put her with some smear or whatever to make her look like as horrible as possible. And we just walked. We didn't have a car, so we just walked. We gave the key to some people who wouldn't leave because they have some like this jobs that how to say, strategic.
Okay.
Yeah, jobs that they wouldn't leave no matter what. Not weapons, like just the social workers or some people who leave last, and we left our dog, we left our house, and we just walked. And then from that on, we were praying, and then we would decide, okay, we go straight, and we took a bus, for example. We would get to a train station, and then there were no tickets, and then the lady who was selling tickets, she recognized me, and she she called my name, come here, and she started offering me tickets, looking for a way to get us tickets, and then so it was so obvious that God was doing it, that we were just, it looked like we were just watching what He was doing. And then pretty much, so okay, we ran from a place. It's like 180 something kilometers, up to 100 kilometers from the places where Russians they were already there. Yeah. When we were leaving by train, let's say 100 kilometers away, there were already heavy fights. Was this Hostobel airport, and we knew that. We were on the phone with people who were informed, and we knew that that we can flee because there were many men dying at that moment. And we also knew that there was no more connection with those places. And I know these places, I've been there. It's like you have gardens outside, and you have the wine all around, and you in summer you have picnics and families visiting each other, and just hello, come in, the more the merrier. And they were already there, no connection. And so we boarded the train, and the train everything was dark. The train station was dark. It's like some very strange things. And so we made it. Pretty much our whole way was like this. God was leading, and then I guess here we are. Some people didn't make it, I know. Some people are there. Our hometown has been partially destroyed, but no, they didn't come by land. They just sending some rockets from time to time. And one of the last things I heard, just to understand the scale of these lives and this incredible, I don't know the word to call it, insanity, you know, like that we have a hotel. It's in our town. It's a town of Bila Cerkva. It's 200,000 people. So not like in the center, more toward outskirts. We have a hotel called Ros. We have a river Ros, for example, a Cambridge. Camp flows through the town, and then every camp. So we have river Ros, and everything is called Ros. Hotel Ros, restaurant Ros. Ros. So there is a hotel Ros built during Soviet times. It's kind of like a bit shabby, concrete, gray, you know, nothing special looking, maybe 9-story hotel. You have there inside, you have, for example, offices where some beauticians sell some products to, for example, to make big, beautiful nails for ladies, or make big, nice lips, you know, like, or somebody sells some tires or something like that. And on all central TV channels in Russia, they transmitted that in Bila Cerkva, in that hotel, there is there are main headquarters of international training for mercenaries. And people were really evacuating, 100 meters, 200, everyone who could, because they knew what's coming next. They're going to bomb it. So somehow it's still standing. So you call home and they say, well, you know, we're expecting the international center to be destroyed. It means, and if you have like your house, your apartment block 50 meters away, then you pretty much say bye-bye. So things like that.
Do you get daily contact to the Ukraine?
Yes, I have my mother, I have my friends, I have some a church that that I help. For example, I send my donations there, or now she's about to send me some letters. Maybe I can approach people. They have 5,000 refugees from Bucha, Irpin, Mariupol in Bila Cerkva, because it's relatively close. It's still sort of safe, and there are lots of people who cannot run far. You know, they are the last ones to run, and they're pregnant, handicapped. Old people, so they're taking care of these people, right? And one of the greatest needs is the language course. The more is offered, for people, just to keep it short now, what Ukrainians need to communicate. Language courses, for example, I know that I've been asking from Spezial Amt here and there, and now, I'm at the school. Assisting kids, and also I attend classes. So as much as I can, I write and I try to speak. So I'm learning German this way. I know that some other places organizing, but the more the better. If churches can provide with us professional language courses as possible. Yeah, that's the greatest need. Also, I guess you see, different people are different. Different people are different. They have different needs. Some want to go home as soon as possible. Say, we just wait a little bit. That's it. We are off. Some not sure. For example, for my basic needs, it's safety. I don't need anything else if it's not safe. So I don't know if we go home when it will be safe. And if it's
not foreseeable at the moment.
And my family from Western Ukraine, they were rich landowners. My great-grandfather, and he had quite a lot of land before 1939. And he was an old man, and his friends were selling. They knew that Russians are coming, the Soviets are coming, so he was selling. They were selling their land all around, and they were asking him to join them in their moving. They were going to Switzerland.
Okay.
And he said, "Oh, my Switzerland is on the hill, and there was a cemetery." But it didn't happen like that. Soviets put him on a train, 70-something years old man, took all his land, put him on a train, wagon with like this for cows, this animal wagon, and sent him to Siberia. He died on the way. They were just throwing bodies. So in a way, half of my family was killed. Whoever survived just got really strong. Some of them got very strong Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm syndrome.
It was, but somehow I'm not so prone to it. So I'm not, and also I don't have any sort of symptoms, at least, of holy masochism. Forgiving and all that stuff. No, honestly, I'm really I understand we have some Ukrainians that are from eastern parts, and for example, my mom told me a few days ago that she had someone in her friend's kitchen from eastern, from Mariupol, let's say, crying and everything destroyed. She lost everything, and she's telling to a person who's accommodated her, like in Western Ukraine, she's saying, "Oh, why are they doing this? Why are they bombing us? We are theirs. We did everything they wanted, Like, what's the problem? They didn't have any problems with us. I understand if they would bomb you here in Lviv. That would make sense." And she's like, "What are you actually saying? That you're saying that it would be okay to bomb me, but you are really sad that they're bombing you, So we have all stuff. I'm not ready for a Russian person to come up to me with a small talk in Russian, asking me where I'm from, telling me where he's been to in Ukraine. I think the only thing a Russian, if somebody loves that country and teaches his children Russian and identifies himself as a Russian, the only thing I can cope with to hear is, "I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry what my nation is doing to yours," And if he doesn't identify himself as Russian, then better, just don't talk to me. I'm not speaking for everyone. I know that some people who but there are a lot of people like me. I know, and
Thank you very much for the very personal insight. It was touching to hear that. And well, actually, there are no real words I can tell to make that up, because what you're experiencing is something I can think about, but I can feel because I just didn't experience it. So what we can do is, what we and our listeners can do is be hosts, be welcomers, and pray for the Ukraine, for all of you who had to leave, for all of those who are still there. For finishing the podcast, what can our listeners pray for?
I guess my main prayer and my main understanding, is that I really pray and I really ask God, and I want you to join me, that through all this, my people repent, because, of course, in a way, I don't believe that this case is God's judgment as such. Maybe it's the devil's anger more, for let's say for our for this decommunization, for this for leaving it, and I don't know. Maybe it's
just
both.
a question we won't be able to answer.
Yeah, but I guess to pray that my people repent and God hears them and saves.
Yeah.
And for many who are dying, really dying for their country, believe me, it's children, somebody's children, it's young boys, 18, 20. They are not, they haven't left with suitcases of cash on Bentleys like some deputies, but they're paying with their lives, and their mothers lose everything they have, their only son sometimes. Yeah. So that's the most heartbreaking for me, and also for those people who. Oh, I understand that what I have experienced, it's so meager, meager, like tiny, puny thing compared to what some people go through now.
Yes.
I guess for God to spare His own and to bring as many children to Him.
Ja.
Danke für Ihr Interesse und dass Sie so Teil von Gottes weltweiter Mission sind.